Hey guys, it's Sean from Good Entertainment. How are you? You look great. It's nice to see you. I was playing a lot of Pokken and I started doing this this illustration, and I decided, hey, let's record it, and I can put up a video about it. So originally this was going to be a video with Pikachu kind of dunking on some other Pokemon, but then ultimately I decided Mewtwo should be the dunker. It's what he is. It's his Pokedex description. Mewtwo, the dunk Pokemon. So here he is. I kind of do some sketches trying to shape things out. I really want that kind of impact of Mewtwo pulling down and slapping his tail against Pikachu. And I think I captured that pretty well with his fist and with the tail and everything. I even add a little bit of motion lines a little bit later on to just kind of really show the motion of his tail going down. And it came out really nice. Took a little bit to get his fists down because the three finger ball things, Mewtwo's a weird guy, but he looks good. Whenever I make something, I always want to try and do something a little bit new, a little bit different. But ultimately, there's one brush that I really like to use, at least for right now. It's kind of my Sean brush, and it's kind of this almost pixelated, kind of gross looking, kind of messy brush that kind of gives things like a nice texture to it. And so that's why I kind of do my line art over again, is because in the initial sketch phase, I tend to move around and shift them around. They lose that sharpness that you end up getting. So that's why I do my line art over again. But now I start going into doing some of the detail, a little bit of the shadow work on Mewtwo. I end up tossing that, so just ignore that. You don't even need it. But then I start doing the coloring on Pikachu and making sure that the outfit looks correct. I love Pikachu Libre. I feel a little bit bad for, making an illustration where he kind of just gets beat up. But, whatever. It happens. He'll be all right. He'll survive. I decided to redo Mewtwo's face because I wasn't really feeling how it looked. It was too, not that being cartoony's bad, but it didn't really match the impact of the piece that I was trying to do. So this fixed up one looks a lot better. There's this really cool blur effect by this user that I found on Twitter. I'll put your @ handle up on the screen. I don't want to mispronounce it, but it's this really cool effect where things kind of just get a little bit of depth. I really enjoy it, and like I was kind of saying, I always want to do something a little bit different with each illustration that I make. So I wanted to try that out, and it turns out really rad, especially once I add in the background. You get a really nice sense of depth with everything that's going on. It's pretty cool, and it's something that I'll probably use in the future. I added a little bit of a highlight where the impact is of Mewtwo's tail and Pikachu. Here I look up the synopsis of Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark on Wikipedia. That's natural, normal, whatever. Everybody does that. It's no problem at all. I decided to ditch that shadow that I was doing in there. It didn't really make sense since I put that highlight where the tail was. The shadow changed on Mewtwo, so I had to kind of redo that. But ultimately, it looks way, 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 way better. I'm really happy about that. I start working on the background here, and I wanted something to break. I really wanted that. I wanted that smack, that impact. I even looked up wrestling games on the NES. I thought maybe I'd find some inspiration from like a box art image or something like that. But ultimately I made this like crack effect, which is really cool. And I liked it so much that I just kind of turned it into the rest of the piece. So and ultimately I didn't really know exactly what I was trying to do here, but I liked it and I wanted to go with it. So I just kind of started messing with stuff. I made a bunch of shapes. I don't even know if it exactly makes sense or whatever, but it's pretty cool looking, And I think the way that I kind of rationalize it in my head is maybe Mewtwo was using some kind of psychic, thing where he was making a bunch of rocks smack Pikachu, or I don't know, something, he's psychic. Things can float around, it's fine. But it really has a satisfying, very cool effect that I'm pretty happy with. And then I'm going to go into the coloring after this, which the best advice I ever got on coloring, or really any kind of digital work, is really just to mess around with different colors and different layers and different effects. So I end up stumbling upon this really nice blue and this really nice pink that really just kind of push against each other and look really cool. There's a really nice, clean, super wild effect that's going on in there, and I decided to use it throughout the rest of the piece, kind of bits and pieces here and there. I do one final change to the back of Pikachu's color, and that's the piece. It's pretty stellar. It's really nice. I had my name in there a little bit at the end there, but that's like it's pretty much it. Like I'm really happy with this piece. I think it's really cool. I even designed the back of the postcard that I'm doing here, and that's because I'm actually going to be mailing out this piece to people who support me on Patreon. So if you don't support me on Patreon already, if you give me $5 a month, you'll get a nice illustration from me in the mail every month, which is cool. Like, I get to kind of make something for you, which is fun. But either way, this is the illustration. It's pretty killer. And if you like what I'm doing here, I'll have another one of these at least in the next month. So stick around if you enjoy it. Otherwise, thanks for watching. And have a lovely day. Go outside. Maybe it's cold where you are. It's cold where I am, so it's whatever. Go play Pokemon. Man, I'm so bad at endings.